to help me out?
Yeah, sure.
They were born.
Oh,
Poppy, the one that comes up the biggest girl. She's
That
like
one's a
9
big-
pounds.
Okay.
she's 90, that's it?
It's a big dog.
She's little. Here,
Big
Daddy.
dog.
All right. So,
Charles.
sorry, we just spoke them a little bit, but everyone's up and active. That's great to see.
I'm sorry.
You might notice that on the other side of the fence there is another pack of wolves. Those on Yana when they were together, so we decided to separate them out. But they do have a shared fence line, so they're able to communicate with each other and interact together through the fence if they choose to, but no one will get hurt. So as sniffing around, you can kind of see Yana here, the gray one. She can't, so we don't want to force them to be uncomfortable or to miss out on their food if they're chores. So whenever we feed our wolves, we make sure they have their own private time. Our wolves get fed just 3 days a week. So that's Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. So they did get fed today, this morning. Today was just a kibble day. So we put dry dog food in those metal feeders on the fence line over there, and the wolves can stick their head in and eat as much as they want. Now, how many pounds of food do you guys think a wolf can eat in one sitting? So they can eat about 1/4 of their body weight in one. How many pounds of food do you think we fed these wolves today? There's 4 wolves in here.
Oh, about 100 pounds.
We fed them 66 pounds of kibble. 66 pounds. Each wolf gets 15 pounds, and that will last them a few days. So we also have to account for scavengers, like ravens. If you see any blackbirds flying around, those are ravens. There's one. And they know that we feed the wolves meat and kibble, and they really enjoy that as well. So they will come down and scavenge on it too. So,
Question for you.
yeah.
In a lot of the movies where they have wolves, I've heard they're not really wolves and they're Gymnastics. Is that true?
I don't know, because I never worked with, no.
It's a breed of dog, it's a hybrid of all these different dog breeds. It comes out looking like a wolf.
Oh, okay.
And I've heard that that's what they use as their wolves.
It
But I
could
don't
be,
know.
or it could be wolf-dog hybrids or wolves that are socialized and trained.
Yeah.
Our wolves have never been in movies. They have been in documentaries. But yeah, I've heard that too. And I've heard a lot of it, CGI also comes into play.
Yeah, you
with
can tell those are
something.
fake though.
Yeah, you can tell when it's CGI, right? Yep. Yeah.
The
Wolves,
three-headed one just didn't look real to me. I don't know.
wolves are interesting because, whoever has a dog or has ever had a dog or knows dogs knows that dogs are awesome, right?
Yeah.
Dogs make really great pets, and dogs are domesticated wolves, so it kind of gives us a little connection to wolves. But wolves are still very different than dogs, and so we don't recommend them as pets. They don't make good pets, but they're amazing to observe because they're very smart animals, and they're very impressive with what they can do physically as well. For example, this fence, the reason why it's so tall is because the wolves can jump 6 to 8 feet in the air. They can't climb trees, but they can use, once they're jumping, they can use their paws to get up a little bit higher than that as well. So that fence is 13 feet high. And they're also really good diggers. And they have to be good diggers when they have their puppies, they dig dens. And that is where they will give birth because that protects the puppies. And so, when they have puppies in the den, they make sure they're not taken by, vultures or hawks or other birds of prey, other animals that might try to hunt them. Now, the den could sometimes be pretty shallow, but we had a really deep den dug here one year, 21 feet deep. So they can dig very deep, and that's how they protect their puppies. Now, wolves only have one breeding season per year, and that's January through March. So that's when they're, when the mom bee hunts pregnant, she's only pregnant for 2 months, and so the babies are usually born in April or May, and they're called pups. And so every wolf pretty much has a similar birthday. Either they were born in April or May. There's no wolves with November birthdays, for example. So come April and May, we've got a lot of birthday cakes to make. And we do give them some enrichment at that time. We'll give them some birthday cakes they would enjoy, aka things with some kind of meat in them. They are carnivores, And does anyone know what wolves hunt in the wild?
Is it a treat?
Rabbit, what else?
Wolves,
A
deer,
rock?
rabbits.
Think big. Deer, elk, moose, bison. They can take down incredibly large prey. Now, why is that important? Because without the wolf in the ecosystem, all those large prey animals, their population skyrockets. Why is that bad? Well, because then you have too many elk, moose, or deer, or bison, then they are overgrazing them. That's the wolf. It's really important that they come back to ecosystems where they used to be native to, because in those places where wolves were hunted off to almost extinction or we're seeing way too many deer and elk and a lot less vegetation. And that affects other species as well. So the wolf is what we call a keystone species, meaning that they affect the whole ecosystem. They're like a keystone in an arch. If you take the keystone out, the arch tumbles down. So our wolves, what about California? How many wolves are in the wild of our state? Anyone know? Want to guess? 2,000? Less than that. Way less than that.
900.
15.
Oh, she can walk.
We
She
have
can run.
15.
You got her, Charles?
Total in the state of California.
Was that Northern California?
Yep, they're all
Yosemite?
She's gonna take off running if you're
No,
gonna hold
farther
her.
north, in Lassen County. So near the border of Oregon and California is where we have wolves in our state. And those 15 are all in one pack. So we only have one pack of wolves. We realized there were no other wolves in the state. Went back up into Oregon, found a mate there, exciting for us. We now have a pack in our state. But think about this way, from 2011 to 2020, 9 years, we've had gone from 0 to 15 wolves. Very slow growth. So although it would be really nice to do a reintroduction and add more wolves to the wild, wolves are a very controversial species, right? A lot of people don't like wolves. There's a lot of people that absolutely love wolves. There's so many opinions and passions about the wolf. Now, who wouldn't like wolves? Farmers, ranchers, hunters that think they're hunting elk and deer. People that live where wolves live and are just afraid of them, maybe. So there's lots of people that might not like wolves, and so we have, especially the ranching industry, has a lot of money and will lobby to change the laws on how many wolves are allowed to be released, and so that's affecting wolf conservation, unfortunately, which makes it tough to bring back a species when we're not allowed to release them, or when they're allowing more time. So basically, right now, we're not doing any releases of this kind of wolf, but they are slowly growing in the areas where they live, including around Yellowstone and the Northwest, as well as on the East Coast too. There's some wolves coming into Northeast US.
What about toy wolves? Is that a thing? Or they, when they don't find a mate, can they interbreed with toy?
They can. Yeah. We don't have any in California, and as far as I know, I don't know of any in the Northwest. It was seen more on the East Coast, especially in northeastern Canada, right near New York, kind of on the other side there. But it's not really a problem. But yes, they can interbreed, and they can actually have viable young as well.
No, I heard of it in like Texas.
It wouldn't really be possible in Texas because there's no wolves in Texas. So there's
And
coyotes.
then people probably just saw coyotes down there and thought, oh.
A lot of people will see a coyote and think it's a wolf. I get so many people send me a picture saying I saw a wolf. I look at it, it's definitely a
Coyote.
But, you know, they can look similar if you see a large coyote and a small wolf. But if you see them side by side, you can tell the difference.
Facial differences.
Coyotes have a much smaller, narrower face, smaller paws, smaller ears, and a big fluffy tail. Wolves are much different.
Is he friendly?
Yeah, I was wondering how the
Charles.
in Northern California, like how are they monitored or how are they being protected? Good question. Yeah, they're not monitored 24/7. So if someone was determined to kill them, potentially they could, even though it's illegal. You know, sometimes that stuff happens. Some of them are collared. So they get a GPS collar so the scientists can track where they are. But some of them were born in the wild and have not been caught yet, and so they're not collared. But they can track the pack with the adult's collar. And they do also scat sampling to test the DNA to see who the parents are and which wolf it is. And also cameras. They'll put out cameras that are motion activated. that will take pictures and videos of if a wolf walks by, and they'll do hunting that way as well.
How do they clean themselves?
They lick themselves just like dogs do. Yeah, they don't like take baths. We don't bathe them. We don't groom them. They lick themselves, and then whatever they don't reach, just kind of over time, they shed their fur, and it's amazing how clean they look when they haven't got any bath ever. They do sometimes dunk in the water, but it's supposed to cool down. It's not really clean off. In fact, frequently we'll see like Poppy here. She loves to roll in the mud. She'll get all muddy, and the next day, magically, she's clean. I don't know. I think it dries off and she shakes. And also, when they're eating carcass, they get blood all over their face. It's kind of gross, but that happens, and yeah, they somehow.
They lick each other's faces.
Yeah, they lick each
That's
other
what my
too.
chihuahuas do to each other, so
Yeah.
it's like kind of probably the same thing.
Yeah, they're very social
In
animals.
each other's faces.
And so they're great runners. They're not the fastest runners, but they have very high endurance. They can run for many miles a day, and their body is very lean and built for long distance running. Yeah, so they're pretty interesting animals. And another thing you might notice is that they're kind of fluffy right now. They're growing in their winter coats. So the gray wolf is called the gray wolf because that winter coat that they grow in is gray. We just can't see it from the outside because their top. Wow, where was that? We do, we're unlikely to hear the wolves calling on this board because it's not their actual. All right, so in this exhibit area we have a patch of Mexican gray wolf, and his name is in the breeding program. And here with M1782 is Emma, F1363, entering on the left there. She's a little bit smaller than him and a little more red, and that's how we tell them apart. Now these two, although they are a male and a female, they're not a breeding pair. They are actually nephew and aunt. So they will not be a breeding pair. They're together for companionship. Now, that doesn't mean that they won't breed in the future. Emma, for example, could be chosen to breed with a different male and transferred somewhere else, or the male transferred in here for creating a new breed that house and breed the Mexican gray wolf to decide who will breed, who will go to which facility transferred, and who will go into the wild. This is a unique breeding program in that there is a wild release component of it. And do you guys know where Mexican wolves are being released into the wild? Mexico. They're actually a binational species, though. They're native to the U.S. as well. They're native to Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas. Now, Texas tends not to be part of the release program, but they are being released in Arizona and New Mexico. Up in the Blue Range Mountains, in the Gila National Forest. So they're not in the middle of Phoenix. They're up in higher elevations with less people, and there are 160 in the wild in the U.S. total. In Mexico, there's only 30. So we actually have more Mexican wolves in the U.S. than there are in Mexico. In captivity, there's almost 400 for a total population of Mexican gray wolves, a little less than 600 individuals.
I put you in my movie.
So they are critically endangered. But that's they almost went extinct, and all of those wolves were captured and brought into captivity to start the breeding program, and that's how we've gotten so many that we have now. So we only have 3 lineages of Mexican gray wolves. So every time we breed them, we have to be very careful. Like I said, these guys are getting some lovely frozen mice here, and so we just have 1 cube for each wolf. There's only 2 wolves in here right now. There is a 3rd wolf you might see off the left-hand side. That's M1782's brother. He's currently temporarily separated due to an injury, doing just fine now, but he will get his own enrichment after this. So for now, I'm just going to put these in for these 2 wolves. I'm going to walk a little bit back so I can get them in without hitting a tree. But feel free to ask any questions you guys have while I do that.
How did he injure himself?
Let's call and it's when the penis gets stuck outside of the sheep. It's the only case the vets I've ever seen in a Mexican gray wolf. It's common in dogs, but yeah, it was incredibly interesting for us to see that happen. Painful for him, of course, but thankfully he's doing a lot better now.
So more importantly, how is she?
She's fine. Yeah.
Got a picture of the gray wolf. Good job. Ooh, somebody. So skittish.
Yeah, they're very skittish animals, which makes me laugh because people think they're so aggressive and mean, but they couldn't be further from the truth. They are very skittish, and in fact, when we go in to clean their area, you know, to pick up their scat and take it out, or to clean their water tubs, or to feed them their food, we go directly in with the wolves, open contact. And they're so afraid of us, they're at the opposite side of the habitat when we do what we do. So we walk in and we clean up their stuff, and while let's say we're on this side, they're on the other side. Vice versa as we walk around. Again, they're not trained, so they just kind of hang out. But their wild instinct is to avoid humans, which is a great instinct because humans are really what has hurt them for so much over the years. And if you think about it, you know, wolves, that's a very smart instinct to have. And in fact, right now, the number one thing that wolves is so, you know, we're trying to prevent them from happening. But education really is the most important thing in that aspect because a lot of people that are trying to kill wolves are just doing so out of some misinformation about wolves, either a fear or just misinterpretation through range riders, which are people that go on horseback out with where the wolves or where the cattle is grazing. And just that human presence prevents wolves from wanting to come close. Another thing the range riders do is they are watching the cattle and just watching out for injuries or problems, and they're able to treat that cattle earlier. And ranchers are finding that range riders are not only helping with the wolf issue, but with a lot of other things as well to help save their cattle. So it's a pretty successful program. The only thing is it costs money, but when we offer to pay for it, wow, the ranchers are really willing to do a lot more, right? So what we'll do is we'll fund it for the first year or two. Once the rancher knows that it's a good investment. Nowadays, though, with all the controversy and people not liking wolves and some, you know, ranching industry trying to prevent wolf releases, now what we're doing is a program called cross-fostering, born here off exhibit, to parents Frida and Phoenix. And of those 8 puppies, we released 4 of them into the wild. And we found out that the cross-fostering was successful. The mom did accept them. Now, more recent updates I don't really have. But the good news is that we know the mom did accept them initially. Anyway, so that's pretty much what we feed them. Now, deer is their favorite food out of those things. Of course, that's the most natural thing they can get. And we actually will get roadkill deer. So, if anybody see the deer get hit on the road on your way home, give us a call and come pick it up in our pickup truck, and we will bring that deer back here and put the whole thing in for the wolves. We don't have to butcher anything because they enjoy the whole carcass. That helps to clean their teeth, provides enrichment, and it gives them more nutrition. A wolf or a dog that's fed only meat will have a nutritional deficiency. They have to get bone and they have to get organ as well. And in fact, the organs are their favorite part. So, you know, liver especially is their favorite. And so they will eat the whole carcass, including the skin. And after a day or 2 of the carcass being in there, we'll go in and we'll just remove the biggest bones, and that's all that's left. So they do a really good job of it. And of course, the ravens help them a little bit as well. Any other questions?
What's their natural enemy in the wild?
Well, wolves are a top predator, so they don't have any, they're not a prey to anybody, except the puppies. So an adult wolf has no predator. But they do have competitors. You know, they can compete sometimes with mountain lions, bears, coyotes for food. But usually those animals just avoid each other. There's no, if two animals in the wild, no matter what species they are, if they have no reason to fight, they're not just going to fight for fun, right? You get to see them lunge at us, they don't try to fight us. Now, if we have, like, let's say, for example, we want to put a wolf into a crate. Then we need to actually grab them and put them in the crate physically. They will not walk into the crate and just put feet there and try to lure them. They're very smart. So we have to physically grab them and put them into the crate. At that point, you do have your fingers close to their mouth if you're the person with the head. So at that point, they could try to bite you, and you have to be careful where you're putting your fingers. But that's different as a defensive bite, not so much an offensive or aggressive bite. So yeah, we've never had anyone here attacked by a wolf.
So your domesticated dog is more dangerous than a wolf?
Actually, yes, in many cases they can be. Especially a dog that's not very afraid of humans, or a dog that just has a history of bites, of course. Yeah, the white pole does not work for dogs or coyotes or tigers. It really only works with wolves because wolves have that unique, strong fear of us and that instinct to just freeze and just hope that everything goes okay. Also, our wolves, they grow up with the white pole, they kind of learn what it's like, and as they get older, they realize that they just lay down and submit, it's over way faster, and they get to walk away. We really appreciate your time today and for coming up to support us. All the proceeds from our tours go directly to our mission, and they're helping us to feed and care for our wolves right now. So thank you so much for that. And if anyone has any more questions or wants to hang out for a few more minutes, I will stay here. Otherwise, you guys are free to go. You do not need an escort to leave. You can just go on your own. Take that dirt road nice and slow, and keep in mind the gate opens toward you. Okay, so let it have a space to open, and then you can head on down. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. You're welcome. Yes, these guys are still in the yes. These guys are not in California. So this is federal and Arizona and New Mexico. Yeah, Mexican wolves are not included. Thank you. It's actually online, so CaliforniaWolfCenter.org. You submit your application, and then you go through a few training sessions. And we get started with whatever you want to get involved in. To do like animal care related things, you have to volunteer for 3 months first. But otherwise, we get you started with tours, facility maintenance, whatever your interest is. And we could always use more help. Awesome. That would be fantastic. Yeah, thank you for asking.
Thank you so much.
Have a good one.
It's going to give shot, buddy.
Good boy.
I'm 17.
You know, I don't know if you're familiar with like the Jewish law kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
So I know there's like I'm assuming there are some like my girlfriend and I actually ended up like at a place that didn't seem like it was as like professional or something like this. And it was actually in Lucerne Valley. I don't know.
Oh, Wolf Mountain Sanctuary?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never been there. I've seen their website. I think they're mostly hybrids, right?
Yeah, but I mean it's like a very interesting experience. Like there, and you can all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
It's just like all about the show.
Well, yeah. Unfortunately, I mean, I don't think anything bad about them because I don't know them. But just in general, what I think is dangerous is when people can do it for money.
Yeah.
And it's like everyone has to make money, right? Especially when you're taking care of wolves. I mean, it's really expensive to feed them. They feed a lot. So I get, you got to think of ways to make more money.
Yeah.
But you don't want to sacrifice people's safety and the wolves' well-being. And that's why we don't do the, photo ops and the encounters because the wolves don't enjoy that. Now some wolves maybe that are socialized and used to people, they might actually enjoy it, but our wolves would not. They are terrified of us. I mean, they're not right now because the fence is right there, but if we were to go inside the fence, they would be terrified, especially if we try to catch them. Yeah, so we are always trying to think of, okay, how can we do a tour that people will enjoy, but at the same time the wolves won't be stressed out from it? And so that's how we kind of do that.
Yeah, because just like even seeing like these wolves' behavior compared to what we saw over there is like very different.